I'm Todd Jaderborg with Odins Wolf Survival. Today we're doing another test of the Expedition fuel from Expedition Research. It is a dry compressed fuel tablet. They have a 100-year shelf life, waterproof storage tray. The last time I did it, I got an 18-minute burn, and it brought almost 24 ounces of water up to a light simmer, bit of a boil. This time we're using a bit over 16 in a Keith titanium 650 milliliter mug, and instead of the bottom of a pop can for a stove surface, I got hold of a titanium Esbit compressed fuel stove. So let's open it up, we'll get it started. I think I'm gonna do a bit of tea. I have my watch set up as a timer so we can watch as it goes. Now I'm cutting the fuel tablet out so I don't mess up the other packs. And I remember this smell from the service. They smell the same, they don't look quite the same. Big lighter gets it going. Now the flames are starting. It is about 19 minutes till 3. We'll put the water on. Open our black tea packet. And let it go. It's burning pretty well. Like the last time I used one of these, it didn't smoke. They won't leave ash, and very little residue, if any. I can feel the heat coming off the tab, and above it you can certainly feel it, and you can see you can actually see it. I don't know how well it'll pick up on video, but it's a nice day up in the mountains for almost Halloween. It's hitting about 70, which is rather surprising. Looks like about 4 minutes has gone by. The tab is burnt down just a tiny little bit. We have a very slight breeze. With these, you would want to set up some sort of screen if there's any wind, or protect it, because it'll blow your heat out from under it. And if it's really cold, use your hands. Right here it's fairly warm. The water's just starting to steam, which I knew it was getting hot because it was already starting to brew tea. I don't see any bubbles as of yet in the bottom. Just a quick look, looks like it's been burning about 7 or 8 minutes. So if the last one was any judge, we're not even quite halfway in through the burn cycle. And the tab's still got quite a lot left. The water's starting to steam a bit harder. On the opposite side of the camera, there's a bit of flames coming out due to a very light breeze. This is a 22-ounce mug, and you can see it's down a bit. I think it's 16 or 17 ounces of water in here, which will be a bit more of a realistic test. It should bring this up to a boil, I would think, before it's gone. think it is actually starting to boil, because I can hear the base of the pot expanding and popping a bit. It's burnt 12 minutes or so. We're at a simmer now, because I can actually see some bubbles down in that are getting ready to blow loose. And the handle of this cup is pretty hot. There we go. I can see some small bubbles coming up, so it's doing its thing now. And it's becoming more aggressive. I can hear it. That's how much fuel tab we have left, and that is rather hot. Titanium transfers heat real well. Just a bit shy of its rated burn time, and we still have a pretty good amount of fuel tab left. We'll just let it burn, see how long it goes. But it is bringing the water up to a boil. I kind of like these fuel tabs. I'm going to keep several boxes. I've got some extras that I ordered in my O shit bag and a few other places. They're kind of handy in a little stove like this, when, like, if everything's wet, or if you need, they'd be a great fire starter, because the last one burned 18 minutes, and if you can't get a fire going in 18 minutes, that's God telling you you need to be cold. If I'd have rigged a sort of a windscreen, it would definitely have heated it up a little faster. I just kind of left it open for the most part. And like with anything else, a breeze or wind will blow your heat away. It didn't even come close to blowing this fuel tab out, but I could feel the heat coming out off the backside more than it should have, and set up around the cup. But even still, it brought it up. And the heat tab's down to where it's still burning. I'll just let that sit for a bit. And you can see the time on the watch. It's gone for quite a little while. There's very little residue on this. That's a really light ash, and I'm not sure whether that was, I've never burned this stove. This is the first time I've used it, so I don't know whether it was a coating of sort on the titanium, which I wouldn't think so, but even still, that's a little bit of nothing. This could, by comparison to biomass or anything along that line. And these tabs are waterproof in the trays that we have. Kept in the tray, they'll stay good for 100 years, although I don't think I'll be around to actually test the longevity of that. I would be a very old man. The smell of this brings back memories from long ago. I can remember when in the service we used the fuel tabs, and they smelled just like this. It's down to a tiny little amount now. That's technically, that's not really enough heat to do much. It'd be enough if you popped it out of there with a stick to start a fire on something else easily. You can tell by the size of my index finger just how big it is, and it's disappearing fairly quick now. It looks like from here, it looks like we've had, what, a 19-minute, maybe a 20-minute burn off of this tab, which is pretty good. They're rated at 15 minutes, which through the full heat of the tab, 15 minutes is probably right. Then it decreases off as it burns down like this. But it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's still burning, so you're down to around a BB size now. And it's a very light, it almost looks like an alcohol fire. It's hard to see in the daylight, but it's going away, and it's nearly gone. As you can tell, there isn't very much residue in the tray whatsoever. Once it cools off, a bit of a rub out would take that out rather easily. You can tell how hot it was by the discoloration of the tray. Titanium will discolor heat anodized quite nicely, so I'm anticipating some nice heat anodization on this. And it looks like we're gone. And it looks like 20 minutes, 21. I'm Todd Jaderborg with Odins Wolf Survival, and today we were testing again Expedition Fuel by Expedition Research with an Esbit titanium tray and a Keith 650 milliliter titanium cup and lid. And we've got a rather lengthy burn time.